Good morning. It is Wednesday, June, I think the 22nd. It's hard to keep track of the days when you stay at home as much as we do, but today I'm going to be making cornbread salad. And some of you have probably never heard of cornbread salad. I've been making it for several years. Don't even remember really how I got the recipe, but it's a really good way to use leftover cornbread and have a really fresh, cool summertime side dish. So last night we had pintos and fried squash patties because we've got so much zucchini coming out of the garden, and we had cornbread with it. So I've got leftover cornbread and pintos, which is the perfect combination to make this cornbread salad. So we'll get started. All right, so let's get started with our cornbread salad. This is a layered salad, and it's refrigerated, so it's really cool. So I'm going to chop up some onions out of the garden, and these are just some red and white onions that we grew in our garden. Don't forget to use the green tops also, because they are crunchy and just full of flavor and beautiful. So we're going to use some of the green tops also. Now you don't have to put onion in this if you don't want to. I think it adds a lot of flavor, but if for some reason you don't like onions or can't eat them, feel free to leave that out. All right, I think that's going to be enough. Now this is our leftover cornbread that I had last night. I'm going to make this in one of these plastic containers so that I can refrigerate it and maybe give some of it away. So you just crumble your cornbread up in the bottom of your dish. Now you can make this in an 8x8 or a 13x9. It's really up to you how much cornbread and how much you want to make. I made a 13x9 of this last week for a family reunion, and it was so good. Alright, so you just layer your cornbread, sprinkle a few onions over it. I've got some cooked bacon here that I had left over from breakfast yesterday. So I'm going to chop some of that up and put it in it. The bacon really gives it a lot of flavor. You can put as much bacon as you like in there. I kind of got a frog in my throat this morning. This would be a good way to use leftover bacon or to use that pre-cooked bacon that you can buy in the grocery store. All right, so far we've got our cornbread and green onions and red onions. Get a spoon and some chopped fried bacon. Now this is the pintos I had left over from last night. So I'm going to take some of those and sprinkle them over, and I'm going to get a little bit of the juice too. I cooked these pintos myself from scratch, and I soaked them overnight and then poured the water off before I cooked them, so that takes a lot of the gas out of it. So I'm going to put some of the juice in it too. Alright. Next we're going to put corn. This is just a really small can of whole kernel corn. And then I like kidney beans in mine because kidney beans are a little bit crunchier. Let me get some of that liquid off. They're a little bit crunchier than most canned beans, and I think they add a lot of color. All right, let me grab my dressing. Okay, so this recipe calls for 1 cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of sour cream, and an envelope of dry ranch dressing mix. And you mix that together and pour it over it. But, you know, if you don't want to go to the trouble to make the ranch dressing, just get you a bottle of ranch dressing at the grocery store. If you don't have all those ingredients on hand, it's the same thing. So, I have already put a layer of ranch dressing over the ingredients I already had cut up. And so now we're going to sprinkle some shredded cheese. I use sharp cheddar, but you use whatever flavor or brand you like. Now at this point, there's the first layer of our salad. And you can see at the side how it's layered. Now at this point, the recipe calls for little cherry tomatoes to go in it. But if you're going to keep this salad in the refrigerator and eat on it a few days, I wouldn't put the tomatoes in it, especially if they're cut. Tomatoes will, they have so much juice in them, they'll break down quickly in the refrigerator and it'll kind of ruin your salad. It won't last as long. So I get my salad out into a bowl and then add the tomatoes to it when I get ready to eat it. And now all you do is do all that layering again. I'm going to go ahead and layer more cornbread, then more onions, more bacon, more beans, and put the ranch dressing and the cheese on top, and I'm going to layer it till it gets all the way up to the top of this bowl. Okay, so I have layered now 3 different layers of all those ingredients: cornbread, the chopped spring onions, the bacon, the beans, 2 kinds of beans, corn, and then I poured ranch dressing over all of that and then sprinkled it with cheese. So this is the final layer of cheese that goes on top. Grab that. Might as well just finish that bag. All right, so there is your cornbread salad, and you can see on the sides how it's layered. Now all you have to do is stick it in the refrigerator, and honestly, if you wanted to make this one of those one-pot meals for a summertime meal, you could chop up some cooked ham and put layers of it in there. If it were me, I would probably use cooked polska kielbasa or some kind of smoked sausage and layer that in there. And you've got your meat, several different kinds of vegetables, cheese, and your bread all in one meal. So I think that would be absolutely delicious. Now all you have to do is put a lid on this now or cover it with something, put it in the refrigerator and let it sit in the refrigerator for at least an hour or more so that all those juices can kind of blend together, and it is absolutely delicious. I hope you'll try it. And next up, I think we're going to do a green pea salad. So I'll be gathering all the ingredients for that in the next couple of days, and we'll do that one too. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. God is so good to us, and I am grateful for everything that I have, and I'm grateful for all you friends. God bless you. This cornbread salad has been sitting in the refrigerator now for about 3.5 hours. And I checked on it a little while ago, and it didn't seem like it was going to be quite moist enough, so I poured just a little bit of water over the top so that everything could kind of melt together. And I'm talking just a little bit, maybe half a cup. So look at it now, and I'm going to take some out for me because I'm sending the rest of this. Look at that. I'm sending the rest of this to work with my sister for them. But look at that. It's moist and all those beautiful flavors. Delicious. And I'm going to fry some smoked sausage and put it in mine and a few little cherry tomatoes. It's going to be delicious.